19 Kids and Counting on TLC. And there's Jana, Jill, Jessa, and Ginger with a J. The book is called Growing Up Duggar, and it's published by Howard, and it's available in bookstores everywhere. Who's the eldest?
Jana.
Jana. Jana, you get to talk first. Welcome to our program here on American Family Radio.
Thank you for having us on.
Well, Jana, why don't you open up and just tell us about this book that you and your sisters have written?
Well, the book is targeted towards young ladies, and it is, we're talking about relationships, so we go through our relationship with, like, parents, siblings, friends, our relationship also with guys, and then ourself, which is what we think is one of the most important, but then the very most important relationship is the relationship with the Lord. And we didn't actually make one chapter on that, but we wove it throughout the whole book because we think that that's really the main thing that is the most important key in each relationship is your relationship with God.
Now, are y'all home in Arkansas, or where are you?
Yes, sir. We are home in Arkansas. We just finished our book tour. We traveled for about a week and a half, and so from New York to Texas and then back home.
Now, I'm just curious, how you doing this interview? You got 4 different extensions in your house, or what?
No, we're all just on one phone and have it on speakerphone.
Oh, you sound like you're holding the phone to your ear.
Well,
okay.
Yes, we are. You hold the handset speakerphone.
Well, it's technology beyond my understanding, I think is what you're talking about here. But Growing Up Duggar, the program, 19 Kids and Counting, let's see, we got Jana, Jill, Jessa, and Ginger. And I've asked y'all to say your name before you speak so our listeners will know who we're talking about, especially those who are big fans of the show. Go ahead and tell us, Jessa, how this works out in terms of the you don't call it dating with boys, you call it courting?
Yes, sir. We call it courtship or dating with a purpose.
Okay, I like the dating with a purpose. Now, how is that different than say modern dating?
Well, I think the main difference is that we're really looking at this person as a potential life partner, and so not just looking for a little romantic fling here or there, but really considering, is this a person that I want to spend the rest of my life with? And moving forward, evaluating character, really, that's what our parents have encouraged us to do, is look at the man's character and say, is he a man that's honest? Is he hardworking? Does he have self-control? Is he going to be a good father for my children? And really focusing on character.
Ginger, I'd like to ask you a question if I could. I just listened to what Jessa said, and I think there are probably some young ladies going, well, I'd like to find a man like that with all those qualities, but they seem to be in short supply. Where do you go to find men with those kind of godly characteristics?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'd say that you can meet guys anywhere. I mean, God can bring someone, but church is a good place. But most importantly, just focusing on ministry during this time, just serving the Lord where he has us and being faithful in the little things. And then God will, in his timing, bring that one. But noticing and realizing that marriage is not the end all. So that's important as well for young ladies. And this is Jill now, and I would say also that one of the differences between courting versus dating and dating with a purpose is that really it's not just, I mean, we've had girls ask us, so what age can you start courting? And it's not really about an age that you can start courting or, okay, now it's okay to court whoever I want to. That's not really the focus. When you're wanting to do a courtship or dating with a purpose, what you're doing is what Ginger is saying. You're involving yourself in ministry. You're just keeping yourself busy, trying to use your time wisely, and really understanding what kind of guy are you wanting to marry? And we talk about that in our book in the chapter on guys and talking about character and things like that. And then turning that same list back around on yourself and thinking about what kind of godly girl is a godly guy wanting to marry and trying to become that kind of girl and not just wasting away your time and, I'm just going to date this guy or that guy or whatever, but really encouraging girls in our book to go beyond that and not just be looking around the corner at church or wherever you may be for the next guy that you can court or date, but really just waiting and using your time wisely. And when a godly guy sees a girl who's not just always enthralled with the thought of marriage and trying to put that as her number one, then he's going to see a girl who is committed to her family, committed to the Lord, and really just wanting to serve God with her life, and that's what's going to attract him to her. And so that's one thing we talk about in the book that's a little bit different than the typical dating scene where people just go out and date whoever they want just to fill their time and have somebody to love them. But really looking for that acceptance from God and who he's created you to be. In the first chapter of the book, we talk about your relationship with yourself and realizing who God's created you to be, accepting the 10 unchangeable things in your life. And then in turn, that helps you really to not find your self-acceptance in other people and other guys and other things that might create an unstable relationship.
You know, I'm looking at the front cover of the book, and you're 4 beautiful young ladies radiating, I think, more than just physical beauty, but true happiness and contentment. By the way, if those voices you've been listening to are familiar, we're talking to Jana, Jill, Jessa, and Jinger Duggar. If you've ever watched 19 Kids and Counting, you've heard them and you've heard their brothers and sisters. It occurs to me to ask you a question I suppose you must get often. Americans watch the show, and we're all amazed at how a family this large gets along and how it survives all the ups and downs of everyday life. Do you feel that being raised in and I'm just going to throw this out for any one of you 4, but do you feel that being raised in a larger family like this actually helps you in terms of developing some of these qualities you're talking about? Are there positive aspects that maybe the rest of us don't experience in smaller families?
Well, I think one of the things we really wanted to show through our book is that we are normal people just like anyone else. We have our sibling rivalry, those times when you just don't get along with one another. And so we share lots of stories like that in our book. Like, this is Jessa talking. Me and Jana, when we were younger, we really didn't get along. We had a lot of sibling conflict there, and I was the little sibling that would just get on her nerves, and she would react and get frustrated and angry at me. And so we talk about that, but then how our parents guided us to the Bible principles of blessing those who aren't so kind to you, as the Bible would term your enemies, That's pretty much what we were. And Jana really committed to have that type of attitude towards me, even though I was that little sibling that was just hard to get along with. And she would look for ways to praise me when I did things right and just kept loving me even though I was that annoying little sibling. And it transformed our relationship. And today we're like the best of friends. And so we talk about a lot of different Bible principles and things that we've learned along the way from our parents or our different mentors in our lives and things that have kept our family relationships strong.
We're talking to the Duggar girls, 4 of them. Jana is 24. At least you're still 24?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jill's 22. Jessa is 21. And 20 years old is Jinger with a J. J-I-N-G.
Yes, sir.
Are all the girls start with a J?
Yes, sir. Well, every one of us 19 kids has a J name.
Every one. Well, you got to get creative. I mean, you got to change you got to change Ginger with a G to a J, right? To make that
Yes, sir.
To make that work. But the book is out now. Where Jana, would you recommend? Do you have a website for the book, or just go to your local?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go
On
ahead.
our website at DuggarFamily.com, you can find the book there. and also just a lot of other resources that have helped our family along the way and been an encouragement to us.
Growing Up Duggar is the title of the book. They cover a lot of different subjects in the book: relationships with self, relationship with self. If you have relationships with yourself, you need to see a professional, probably. A relationship with parents, relationships with siblings, relationships with friends, relationships with boys. We talked about that. Relationship with God. The show's been, Jill, the show's been going on how many years now?
It's been going on about 10 years. Jackson, who's number 15 out of the crew here, he was born on the very first episode, which actually aired on Discovery Health, and then they started doing the seasons of 19 Kids and Counting. It was called 16, and then 17, and 18, and now 19. So
now, how does that work exactly? Do they film like 3 months out of the year, or do they film throughout the year, or what? How does that work?
Yeah, this is Jill, and they film about 3 days a week, and they'll take some weeks off here and there because they have families of their own. They have to fly in from different places. So usually it's about 3 days a week, and it doesn't always mean that they're filming a new show. Sometimes it means they're finishing up interviews for one of the shows they've already filmed, or getting some B-roll or whatever to throw in. So, yeah, but the film crew's really more like family now.
Yeah.
And they'll come pop in even when they're not filming. Sometimes, like when we were on our book tour, we stopped in North Carolina for a stop, and we got to meet up with a bunch of our crew there. And even we call him Uncle Jim, the sound guy. He brought his mom and some of his kids over to say hey. And so, yeah, we love hanging out with them. And
how many girls are there?
There are 9 girls in our family and 10 boys.
What are the ages of the girls? You got y'all 4. You're
Yes.
4 the oldest, right?
We are the 4 oldest girls, and then there's Joy, who's kind of sandwiched in between some of the boys. She's got 2 above her and 6 below her, and then there's the 4 little girls.
How's your dad going to pay for all these weddings?
I know, right?
My word. I can't imagine. He's going to have to be doing that TV show till he's 80, to pay for all your weddings. I'm just kidding. Growing up,
I think with this many people in our family, we're going to have somebody just go into wedding planning
there
and
you
all
go.
that so that he can just have his own business there. He's got, all
great
different.
idea. Keep the money in the family.
There you go.
Hire the photographer, somebody bake the cake, the wedding planner, and everything. We're talking to Jana, Jill, Jessa, and Jinger. Jinger, talk about what you mentioned here in your the book is more than just profiling the life of the Duggar girls.